Hey everybody, this is Miss Day. So I wanted to go over Module 3 with you real quick. So if you come in here to the class and you go down to Modules, you'll see Module 3 here. If you don't see anything, you might need to click on this arrow so that it will open up and you can see all of the different parts of Module 3. So of course you can come in here to my Zoom meeting anytime. This is for students that missed the first 2 weeks and need to get caught up so they can move on with Module 3. So of course Module 3 is about the art element line, and please make sure you're doing your attendance every day. You have to click submit and type your name and send it in. Here's the overview. It just has some vocabulary and just lets you know that we're talking about how lines communicate information. 3.1 is just a presentation that comes from this book, How to Draw Using the Right Side of the Brain. And it just has some really fascinating information that I thought I would share with you. And the main thing I wanted you to take away from that is that, you know, your signature, any mark you make, is going to record information. So how fast you draw the line, and how fast you draw the line communicates a lot of information to your audience. It can show confidence or a lack of confidence, or maybe even feeling uncomfortable. There's an exercise in here that I wanted you to do to practice showing how we use lines to communicate emotions. Oh, and then there's a couple of brain teasers. Of course, the duck rabbit, the vase and the face, the wife and the mistress. These are quite interesting. So another kind of visual puzzle here. It's using the idea of size in contrast with the idea of perspective lines, because this really should, the men should be reversed. This tallest man should be here. The smallest man should be down here. So that it would be in line with these perspective lines. So this video is really great about explaining the element line and how it's really the most basic art element. So what I would like for you to do is answer on this Padlet how you feel like lines communicate information. Just be sure that you add your name. Most students are adding their name. I see here, see it says anonymous. Oh, Valerie put her name at the end. Perfect. Thank you very much. So yes, if you could put your name at the beginning or the end so that I can make sure that I give you credit. Of course, your attendance. This is just notes for you to review the different types of lines. Oops. So this is your first exposure to like an art critique, and all that means is that you are looking at the artwork and you're describing it, analyzing it, trying to interpret what it means and to evaluate it. So we have here some information about Pablo Picasso's painting, The Weeping Woman. You can read about it here. It comes from this article. And then the question is to talk about what you notice, so that's describing the image, things that you wonder, so you're trying to interpret it, and then how does he show sadness? So you're telling us what you believe, how he's showing sadness in this image. You'll just take the survey and answer those questions. Of course, once again, your attendance. So this video really is talking about the qualities of line, the emotive qualities of line, and how lines can express different emotions by how we relate to the line. Again, I have some notes for you. And this is a Nearpod that's going to help you think about how lines are communicating emotion. Of course, you know, lines that are jagged, we think of, you know, that can hurt us. So we think of anger or pain. Lines that have curves in them and that are horizontal, we relate to that as something that is calm, because horizontal is when we're laying down, and of course curved is something that is soft. So I'm just asking you to think about again how lines are expressing and communicating information and emotions. So you'll just go through that Nearpod. I'm just asking you to use this example here. I get the feeling of blank. What makes me think that is and I'm asking you to refer to the quality of the lines and how they look. So you're going to respond to this prompt and then another student. And you'll do that right down here. Oops, right here in this box. And post your reply. So one way you could go about this is just simply highlighting this. Come down here and drop it in, and then you can type your response in here. What is the feeling you get when you look at this? And if you're not sure, here's a list of emotions for you to consider as you look at this image. I'm not going to post it, I'm just going to go to the next one. All right, so this is a table that has several different videos available for you to look at. It's how different artists use a line to communicate their ideas. And once you go through those videos, then I would like to ask you to participate in an art criticism, and I want you to choose questions from each of the 4 areas. So you can choose your image from one of the artists, and then using the 4 categories, answer one question from each category. All right, so you might say, okay, so from description, you know, what kinds of things do you see in the work? What information can you get from what is the credit line? I'm not sure what that means by the credit line. But you're describing what you see here. And analysis is involving the elements of art and the principles of design, and they're listed here for you. And then when we go to interpretation, what do you think it's about? Does the title fit the image? So you'll choose one thing from each of these boxes. And then, of course, the last one is judgment. And you're going to answer that information. and right up here. So you'll submit your assignment here. If you want to do it in a Google Doc, you can, or if you choose to do it like in a Word document, you'll have to upload the file. My suggestion, well, there's also a text entry if you want to type it directly in. My suggestion is just to create a Google Drive. It should ask you a question about letting Canvas access your Google Drive, and you can of course just say yes and approve that, and then you'll be able to see your Google Drive files. You can select it and then submit it and send it right to me. So your last assignment in Module 3, your project, is you're going to create a small drawing. Let's see if I can... So here's your instructions. So it says identify your art level. You guys are going to be mostly level 1. That means this is your first art class. If you are in Art 2, then you'll be doing level 2. So this project is actually going to be due a week from tomorrow. I believe it's on the 11th. So you could use a pen or a marker. If you want to use something else, like maybe yarn or thread or sticks, but it's something that can create a line. Just ask me about what you're planning to do, and we'll go from there. Let's see. This is just reviewing information, line weight and quality. Of course, you know, the thicker the line and the thinner the line, you can give a sense of the direction of the light falling on an object to help give it more of a 3D quality. Again, just having you think about what emotions you notice and feel when you look at objects. Excuse me, when you look at lines. So here we go. So create a small line composition communicating how you're feeling, or just choose an emotion from the chart. Use different line qualities and write a short explanation of the drawing that you've completed. So you'll see how you know, the artist started with a simple idea, but they developed it. Okay, so this is where they started the composition, and this is they developed it even further. So think about that. Take a look at that, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas. So your second option for you guys that are at level 1 are to actually write a word and try to write the word with lettering that represents that emotion. And again, you can refer to this list. So art level 2, you guys can create an imaginary alphabet that are trying to convey a certain emotion or mood, and then tell me about it, what your alphabet is trying to, what emotion or mood it's trying to convey. And then your second option would be to create your drawing or composition that represents 2 different emotions. Make sure you're taking advantage of line weight, and then explain to me what the 2 emotions are and how you represented them in your drawing. Again, these drawings can be very small. You know, you can do like a little 3x3 or 4x6. You can do a small